Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. Tucker and Ashley. Now, I wanted to start off with this scene because I did genuinely like this scene. I like the fact that Tucker at this point is just tired of the games. Ashley wanted Tucker to sit there and sell his company to Devon, but it's like, okay, this dude literally went over backwards to try to give Devon his company, and it's been pushed back ever since. And what was the whole plan? If he's able to sit there and sell the company to him, then he can be in your good graces and y'all can just live happily ever after. Because in reality, when you're sat there and you watch this scene, it's one of those things where it's like Ashley was never going to get over all the things that Tucker did. She was never going to sit there and do that. The only thing she's been doing so far from jump is that they're playing him and having this man jump through hoops. Now, I look at this in a couple ways. Tucker, it seems, has been trash to her for most of the time that they've been together. Leading back in the day and stuff like that, with lying and cheating and everything like that. Hell, she even spotted the fact that, which I don't even understand how, Tucker and Audra had a little something going on inside. So the point is, it's not like he's been a saint to her, right? He's done things. So in a way, this is kind of payback. I can see that. And also, Tucker's just like, listen, if you was never going to give me a chance from jump, then you should have just said so. It's not there wasting my time. Because that's all it really came down to. Was just a giant waste of time. You're never going to sit there and give this man a fair shake. What the hell are you doing? You know? And I can tell you right now that she wanted a distraction from all her family drama. Every time things got really heated at the Abbott place, she got into an argument with her brother, she got into it with Diane, she came to Tucker. She used him multiple times to make herself feel better. And that's what it came down to. So he was like, you know what, listen, I'm just gonna take this company, I'm gonna leave and I'm done with the games. And she took the flower and she threw it at him and she walked off. And I'm like, but don't sit there and act like, like, don't sit there and act like this anger isn't justified or it didn't come out of nowhere. So Elena, you know, talked to Nate about, well, she was going to ask questions like, well, what was going on with you and Nick and why was he so mad and this, that, and the third. And then she started talking about him with like Nate's obsession with power because that's what he was saying before. My whole thing is I feel like she just keeps going around the truth. This whole conversation, she's talking about power obsession and changing him and this, that, and the third. But in reality, I feel like she wants to then just straight up ask, yo, are you knocking boots with Victoria? You got something going on with Victoria that I should know about. You having an affair, whatever they want to sit there and call it. Like, are you doing something? Instead, we did this whole metaphor about power and all this other crap. And so he does his best to sit there and try to assure her, and also the fact that he's been working a lot and, he's the second in command. Nobody else can come in and take care of his stuff if he's not there. But he said he's going to try to find a way to balance work and life and everything like that. Pretty much what he was doing was trying to smooth over the conversation, um, from Nick and his the way he was in there acting. Meanwhile, you got Audra that's just acting like a snake to Victoria. And she started throwing out lines like, oh yeah, I know you and him been working all hours and stuff like that. And Nate's been trying to satisfy you and he's just so loyal to you and this, that, and the third. And like, I'm like, Victoria, you know exactly, you know damn well that she has an idea of what's going on between you two. But I guess Victoria is just like, keep your enemies close. I mean, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. And at this point, what's she gonna do? Fire her? You know, like seriously, what's she going? Is she gonna fire her off for what? I mean, I don't, I don't know what she could possibly fire her for, but now at some point after Elena leaves society, no, not society, Sharon's coffee house. I forgot what it's called. It's gonna come to me. But after she finished, seeing Sharon and Mariah, she's sitting down and she's just sitting there, just thinking and contemplating. Audrey walks in, and the way that she's sitting there talking to Audrey, I'm just like, bro, do you just not have any friends? Because when here's the thing, when you gotta have girl time with Audra, you might want to start sitting there thinking about reaching out for some new friends or friends at work or something. She snipped it. I felt like she was confining in a snake, and I'm just like, boo, you need to up your game when it comes towards friends. They're talking about the whole TJ and Hellstrom, and now because and I'm going in this out of order sort of way. When Ashley left, Audrey came by, and right off the bat, Tucker was like, "What do you want? What do you want?" And after she realized he was in a bad mood, she was just like, "You know what? I don't want to be indebted to you. I will sit there and find him on my own." So they're talking about Victoria and Nate spending a lot of time together and this, that, and the third. It's work stuff or whatever. But Audra's like, listen, I get it. You want Victoria to sit there and focus on something else other than your damn boyfriend. So we're gonna sit there and try to make this JTL Hellstrom thing happen. And she was like, I'm gonna make it work out. And Elena leaves, and apparently she calls some friend, which I'm just like, if that was the case, if okay, here's the thing: if you had this whole thing, this little back pocket secret thing or whatever you could have did to, then why did you try? Why did you try to get Tucker to help you? Like, you seem like you don't want to be indebted to this man, but yet you asked him for help when you didn't really ask, but you was gonna take him up on it, which is like I don't get it. Anyway, she calls somebody and she asks for help as far as finding this guy. So apparently she's gonna get it because I mean I already heard that he's supposed to be coming into the show. Now, all right, this whole scene is just disappointing from start to end, and it's disappointing not for the simple fact that it was just felt like filler, which it was between Mariah and Tess, and that they're talking about the baby and talking about this and talking about that, and it's like I look at it, and the reason why it's so disappointing is that once again, Mariah still doesn't have a story. Yeah, she comes in, she checks in from time to time with her mother, and she talks about how she's going to be going back to work for a little bit to cover for what's that chick's name, Diane and everything. But it just seems like a lot of fluff. It's a lot of nothing that's going on. And when Abby comes in, you get this look on Sharon's face, like I don't know, maybe she didn't want to talk to her, she didn't really want it there, or she just felt uncomfortable. That's the look that she gave. Abby came in there to tell Mariah, one second. Abby came in there to tell Mariah that lost my train of thought. She came in to tell Mariah pretty much that she's moving out, like she's gonna be moving in with Devon. And she's like, I know it's really fast and this, that, and the third, but I just want, y'all to know. And she says it to both of them. Now, I don't know if this show doesn't really like to have I don't want to sit there and say it doesn't want to have conflict, but the reason why it's so tame and so whatever is because Sharon and Chase, Chance have been, growing closer as friends and stuff like that. And so, I feel like maybe if this was another show, she would have been kind of saying such, and she would have been giving her a little bit of smoke with her like, you cheated on Chance, you're really callous about it, and now I'm finding out that you're moving in with Devon. Like, how are you supposed to sit there and feel about that? I gotta get Nina. Don't get me wrong. Nina went off on Abby, right? And of course, this was wrong place, wrong time, but, that's the dingbat that she is. The only thing I will sit there and say is that at least she was riding for her son. Was it her place? I don't give a damn if it's her mother or not. I mean, his mother or not. No. These are grown ass adults. And what they choose to do with their time is their business. Um, and she needs to, personally, I didn't like the way she came at her. But I understand riding for your loved ones. And so I felt like if this was a different show, Sharon might have had a different attitude. But instead, she was just all like peace and love and like, oh, well, it's totally fine. And he's my friend and you're my friend and everyone's friends. And so, I'm rooting for all y'all. And it just seems so like, man, this is like a missed opportunity to create some sort of drama or tension or something. And, well, it's Y&R. So, yeah. Um, Victor had a quick chit chat with Ashley and Abby about Tucker. Well, what are they talking about? Oh, they were talking about her new living situation and everything like that. They talked a little bit about Tucker, but then he just left and he went to Tucker's place because Tucker was meant to tell Ashley, "I'm just gonna sell this company and I'm getting the hell up out of here. Like I'm leaving town. I'm done." And she was like, "Are you threatening me? Threatening you with what?" He's leaving. He's done with your games and your BS, and he's packing up his toys. He's selling his toys, and he's going home. There's no threatening of any shape, way, or form. He's done. So yeah, Victor comes over, and Tucker's like, "All right, listen, I want to sell my company. I want to get the hell out of town." And Victor was like, "So if I give you, a couple extra bucks or whatever, I guess is this going to be like a permanent thing? Because I'll give you the extra money if you're just not going to be here, like at all." Like, so are we gonna make that happen? Because that's pretty much the type of attitude he was like. So you're gonna be gone, like gone. Very curious about that. Very, very curious about that. And again, I still don't understand how she knew their whole relationship, their whole, their hookup sessions or whatever. I didn't get that. She was like, "You think I don't know about your little hookup sessions?" I was like, "Well, yeah. How would you?" Like seriously, how would you? No explanation, but I guess we're supposed to just sit there and just go with it. So, okay, sure, whatever. Um, oh, I almost also forgot about that. So Nate comes back to the office, and, eventually Audra leaves. There's that whole conversation between Audra and Victoria was just, it's, it's not that it's cringe, it's just it's like every time she talks, it's like there's always this slither. Like I'm always imagining every time she talks is how Snakes does that whole slither thing? That's how I'm sitting there picturing in my head how she's talking. Every time she talks to somebody, it's just always this very uneasy conversation where it's like this person knows that you're just a snake. And unfortunately they still have to sit there and talk to you. Anyway, Nate comes in there and Nate's like, yeah, what we did before, that was a mistake. Because hell, even in the beginning, Victoria was not there thinking about all the great um, desk sex that she was having on the desk. Um, and so when Nate came back, and Nate was like, "Yeah, that was a mistake. All that we did, that was a mistake. Also, your brother, yeah, he knew, and he was not there, kind of like, throwing up signs where Elena was there, and so yeah, I can't really sit there and mess that up. And Victoria's like, what are you talking about? What we have is great. You can't just we can't just deny our passion or whatever. And he's like, no, we got to do it. He's like, all right, fine. I can keep business and professional separate. So like, but even Victoria says, no, you just like the business side of me. I get you don't want anything to do with me physical, but I feel like that's gonna change. But all right, whatever. Um, so once again, he tries to cut things off with Victoria, which I'm not gonna lie, I can see that just being kind of annoying. Because granted, she made an offer, he turned her down at the hotel. They're working together. He's like, screw it, let's just do it on this desk or the floor or the wall. Pick a wall. And then afterwards, he's like, yeah, we can't do this. I don't want to sit there and ruin my stuff with Elena. Bro, what are you doing? It's just this back and forth crap that he's doing. I can understand how that would just annoy anyone. Now, I can also see Victoria. Honestly, to tell you the truth, the second time Victoria should just put the hammer on that. Like, yo, listen, if you don't want to do this, just say you don't want to do this. Don't sit there and start doing it. Because I feel like this is going to get to a point where even the audience are going to be like, the hell are you doing? And I get some people, and granted, I've read on Instagram and stuff like that, because I'm always on Instagram. I always, read on Instagram that people was like, oh, it's nasty, it's disgusting. I'm like, all right, let's just react with the moral outrage. But the back and forth thing, I can start to see it being kind of like annoying. you know, that's time will tell. I don't know about this whole Elena and Nate thing, but I'm like, if Elena is not with Nate, then who Elena's going to be with? I will sit there and say this much. They treated this actress a lot better on this show than they did on GH. I'm not even going to sit there and mention that. I'm gonna save that for the live stream. But yes, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else that happened. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.